Welcome to the Studio Web Designer View. In this video, we will familiarize ourselves with the Studio Web interface on the project you configured in the Introduction to Automation course. Starting from the right side of the screen, you will notice a menu. This menu is the home to the properties, which can either be displayed on the activity card or switched to panel view. The menu also houses the Data Manager, which showcases all variables and arguments that store and pass data in and out of a project. If you are working with multiple workflows or agents, arguments will play a crucial role. The menu also includes entities, which represent data stored in records from the UiPath Data Fabric, a centralized data modeling and storage service. Connections, which establish a link between your automation and external applications, are also located here. Under each connection, you can see the activities where these connections are being utilized. Moving on, we have the Output panel. Here you can view logs from any tests conducted on the project. Then, in the Watches panel, you can monitor any variable throughout the project and see the values it stores. For instance, let's add a breakpoint on the Create Workbook activity. Breakpoints halt the execution of the workflow when it reaches the activity they are set on. We'll then follow the Extract Data Table variable to track if the stored values are those extracted from the website. Now, let's test our project. The breakpoint will pause the automation after it executes the Extract Table Data activity. Upon opening the Watches panel, we can see the variables within the current scope and that our variable stores the values extracted from the Opportunities page. Finally, let's focus on the top menu, where we find the test options. You have the option to test your project in its entirety or execute each activity one by one. Furthermore, you can publish the project to run it from the UiPath Assistant. The Project Explorer can be found in the left-hand menu. A single project can accommodate multiple RPA workflows, which can be added using the plus button. If any errors occur within your project, they will be identified in the Issues panel. Most of these errors will also be highlighted directly on the activity. The Change History panel provides a record of all project versions, including the creator, storage location, and even the option to revert to a previous version. Let's now focus on the option to submit a project as a template. This feature may be disabled by your organization, but if you identify a process that is heavily manual for most of your organization, you can build it in Studio Web and submit it as a template. This enables everyone else in the organization to build upon it. Alternatively, you can directly share the project with anyone who has access to your organization. Each activity is accompanied by a couple of actions. You can rename it, add a breakpoint, which halts the execution at a certain point, copy, cut, and add annotations to document your activity. Activities can be expanded or collapsed, or even extracted as workflows. When we extract them, they become a separate workflow. This option automatically creates a new workflow within your existing project. As you can see in the Project Explorer, we still have access to the main project, which is the workflow we started with. However, the Create Workbook activity is absent because it was moved to the new workflow. But don't worry, we can always revert changes. Upon reverting, we find that the activity is back within our project. What other actions can we perform? Disabling an activity is an option. Any activity that is disabled will be bypassed during execution. And naturally, if desired, you can completely remove it. If you're uncertain about how to utilize a specific activity, you can select the Help option, and the documentation page for that activity will open in a new tab. That covers the basics of the Studio Web interface. Thanks for watching.